The rain poured relentlessly, drumming against the pavement as a tense scene unfolded under the dim glow of a streetlight. A rugged man, his shirt soaked and torn, knelt on the ground, clutching a trembling young boy tightly against his chest. The boy's wide eyes glistened with tears, his small frame shaking as the man whispered soothing words, "You're safe, kid." Nearby, a woman in a sleek, rain-drenched gown stood frozen, her hands outstretched in a mix of horror and relief. The air was thick with danger, shadows of hooded figures lurking in the background, their presence ominous. A car's headlights cast an eerie light, illuminating the chaos as the man shielded the child from an unseen threat. This single father had just taken a bullet meant for the CEO's son, an act of bravery that would soon change his life forever. The night felt endless, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone present. As dawn broke, the man, still reeling from the previous night's events, returned to his modest home with the boy, now calm but clinging to him. The wound on his shoulder throbbed, a painful reminder of his selfless act, yet he focused on comforting the child. The woman, revealed as the CEO's wife, had thanked him profusely before leaving, promising to ensure his bravery wouldn't go unnoticed. He didn't expect much, just a quiet life raising his son alone after his wife's passing. But as the morning sun filtered through his curtains, a strange sound interrupted the peace, engines rumbling outside. Peering through the window, his heart sank. 6 black SUVs lined his street, their tinted windows hiding whoever was inside, a stark contrast to the sleepy neighborhood he knew so well. The man's mind raced as he held his son close, the boy sensing the sudden tension. He wondered if the hooded figures from last night had tracked him down, their sinister intent now catching up. The SUVs' doors remained closed, amplifying the suspense, as if the world held its breath. Memories of the gunshot echoed in his ears, the moment he lunged to protect the CEO's child replaying vividly. He had no idea who those attackers were or why they targeted the boy, but his instincts had kicked in without hesitation. Now, with these vehicles surrounding his home, he feared the consequences of his heroism might endanger his own family. The quiet life he cherished seemed to slip away with each passing second. A sharp knock on the door jolted him from his thoughts. Clutching his son, he approached cautiously, peering through the peephole. To his surprise, men in suits stepped out of the SUVs, their demeanor professional yet intimidating. The door creaked open, revealing a tall figure who introduced himself as an executive from the CEO's company. The man's voice was steady as he explained that the CEO himself was grateful and had sent a team to ensure their safety. Relief washed over the father, though suspicion lingered. The executive handed him a card, promising support and protection, but the presence of so many vehicles felt more like a siege than a safeguard. Inside, the boy sat on the couch, his small hands clutching a toy as he watched the suited men move with purpose. The father explained to his son that these people were there to help, though his own uncertainty was hard to mask. The executive outlined a plan. They would relocate the family to a secure location temporarily, citing potential threats from the previous night's attackers. The father hesitated, his home a sanctuary built with love and memories of his late wife. Yet, the thought of his son's safety outweighed his reluctance. He nodded, agreeing to the arrangement, though the weight of leaving everything behind pressed heavily on his chest. As they packed a few belongings, the father noticed the boy clutching a photo of his mother, a silent plea for stability amid the upheaval. The suited men efficiently organized the move, their efficiency almost mechanical. Outside, the SUVs' engines hummed, ready to escort them to an unknown destination. The father's mind drifted to the CEO's wife, her tear-streaked face etched in his memory, and he wondered what kind of world his bravery had thrust him into. The rain had stopped, leaving a glistening street, but the tension remained palpable. He whispered to his son, "We'll be okay," though he wasn't entirely sure himself. The convoy moved through the city, the father and son in one SUV, flanked by the others. The boy pressed his face against the window, watching the familiar streets fade away. The executive sat across from them, detailing the security measures, armed guards, a private residence, and round-the-clock surveillance. It sounded like a fortress, not a home, and the father felt a pang of loss. He asked about the attackers, but the executive's response was vague, promising answers once they were safe. The city lights blurred past, a stark reminder of how quickly life could change. The father held his son's hand, grounding himself in the present. Arriving at a gated mansion, the father marveled at the contrast to his simple life. Armed guards nodded as they entered, and the CEO's wife greeted them warmly, her gratitude evident. She explained that the attack was linked to a corporate rival, a revelation that deepened the father's unease. The boy clung to him, overwhelmed by the grandeur and the strangers. The wife assured them they'd be protected until the threat was neutralized, her voice softening as she thanked him again for saving her son. The father nodded, but his thoughts were on the bullet wound and the uncertainty ahead. Days turned into a strange routine: security checks, briefings, and the constant presence of guards. The father and son adapted, finding solace in each other amid the opulence. The CEO visited, a stern man who expressed his debt, offering financial support and a job. The father considered it, seeing a chance to secure his son's future. Yet, he missed his old life, the simplicity now a distant dream. The boy began to smile again, playing in the mansion's garden, a sign of resilience. The father vowed to protect that spark, no matter the cost.